I've had a couple different interactions with Rebecca. I actually know her from childhood. We grew up in Omaha together. I have been tracking her career and her progress and everything, and just fascinated with it and the whole concept of spirituality that she brings to the table. So I attended last night. I also attended 1 month ago her large group virtual audience event. And then in August, I had a 30-minute private phone session with her. And that was my first time actually having a reading myself.
I went to an in-person group reading at the Rose Theater in Omaha, Nebraska about a year ago. And that was my first time experiencing Rebecca, and it was amazing and very entertaining. I really enjoyed paying more attention to this kind of stuff and seeing her and do her, do what she does best.
Well, we're sisters and we grew up in Omaha. I live in Chicago now, and this is the first time that I've been able to make it back to Omaha in over a year because of COVID. And I had just so happened to have purchased a ticket to Rebecca's event. And so when I realized that we were going to be in Omaha at the same time, I brought it up to Lisa and said, okay, this is an opportunity for us to sit next to each other and see what happens.
Also, the reason I'm interested in going to these readings is hopefully to get read. But our Nana, grandmother, passed away about 3 years ago. And so it's always our hope that she comes through and that we learn something.
And I feel like our grandmother knew that we were sitting together, and I that was my hope, was that it was sort of twice the energy that we'd be able to send out there to pull her in. So that was really neat. So my question last night had to do with the fact that Lisa and I both had discussed that our Nana had come to us in a dream within the last month, and that they were just very realistic. I could hear her voice. Lisa was saying you could see her just clear as day.
When I dream about my Nana, it's interesting. It's always like she's there and she puts her hand, like it's always like I'm holding her hand. She puts her hand on mine and I can almost feel it,
Yeah.
And so I've often wondered when I do dream about her, or she comes and visits me in my dreams, is she trying to tell me something? Is there a message that she's trying to get across that I am not interpreting correctly or such?
First thing she said was, one of you seems to be dragging your feet on something and just really not finishing what you started, was the essence of it. And that you know what to do, and it's almost like you have analysis paralysis. And I instantaneously thought that was me because of something that I'm going through, and that she has come forth to give me guidance on, as soon as 1 month ago. And so I quickly raised my hand, but then I looked at Lisa, and she had something in her life also that she felt
could apply.
Yes. And then she went down the path of, which one of you has a ringing in your ears? And that's when it turned.
Right. That blew me away, because I didn't say anything all day, but my ears were driving me crazy for about the last day and a half. And I just thought it was the weirdest thing. I've never had that sensation before. And so for her to bring up, like, who's had the ringing in the ears, it was like, oh my gosh, like, that was unbelievable to me. She touched on being a perfectionist and analyzing things to death, and we both do that. So we kind of both gleaned information from the same things. And there was something that I've been, in my head that I've been having, just questioning and trying to figure out if it was just me or if, what, I don't know. So it was interesting because Rebecca Rosen addressed it and was like, are you having doubts in your head about this? And, she sort of alleviated those doubts. So that blew me away.
She said, you are on the right path. Your work is not done, which answered her question. And Lisa had said to me earlier, this is what I keep dreaming about, Nana coming to me and talking about. I'm almost worried what guidance she would give me. And it gave her a
total
huge
peace of mind. I am on the right path. I am where I'm supposed to be. And everything will work out, and she even said something about the who, what, when, where will all fall into place.
You guys do such a good job on these events of talking about the parallel messages and how if it means something to you, then you should pay attention. And at my first group event, that was my question. Actually, I was hearing a lot about signs and symbols and things that were meant for me, that Rebecca had pointed out, like 11s and B's and just be you. And so it was, my question at that one was, does that mean that everybody has the same signs and symbols and that it's just so universal that, it's everyone has them? And the answer was no. You are all here for a reason. These parallel messages are coming through. If they speak to you, they're meant to speak to you. So that was happening a lot last night with like all of the children that came through, and then all of a sudden it turned to grandparents, and that's what made me ask that question at that time. But then specifically between the two of us, even the things that came through, we each were able to quickly say, that's me, that's for me, and that's how. So it was really amazing. One of the things that really struck me last night was Rebecca had said, okay, you're seeing Nana in your dreams because you guys are elevating your vibes so much. Whatever your energy work that you're doing is, whatever you're doing, it's working. Keep doing it. And that spoke to me tremendously.